This the book of Second Exodus, chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou well understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Barak tha Yahweh, Barak tha Yahweh Shai, Barak tha Yahweh, Barak tha Yahweh Shai, Barak tha Yahweh, Barak tha Yahweh Shai, called Lord Imla Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, rule web, and a great example to his younger brothers in the truth. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, Lord willingness to edifying lesson. And as you can see, it's another edition of Measure by the Time Diligently. And I'm the brother Gadal from GMS Mobile, Alabama camp. And Lord willingness edifying. So let's get into it. So,
It feels like this is a really extraordinary moment. What does this discovery tell us?
Well, this was a wonderful coincidence of nature.
So what happens in our final moments? Do our lives really flash before our eyes? Well, for the first time, scientists were able to scan a brain, discovering that the final moments are similar to something that happens every night as we sleep.
The study's co-author, neuroscientist.
that's a coincidence because the Lord say, "Hey, trouble not them which are asleep." And just like the one of the little girl that died, and he told them she just sleeping, you know. And Esau, he do a diligent search. Matter of fact, I think I had pulled up one up. Hang on, what scripture was that? It's a lot, you know. But that's pretty much Esau. Esau looking to all these things, trying to figure out things that are above and beyond him, as this video gonna go into. You know.
Dr. Ajmal Zamar says that these findings challenge our understanding of when exactly life ends.
The discovery comes as the rival James Webb telescope captured this stunning, first-of-its-kind image just of another star just weeks ago. Now scientists are trying to figure out just what this newest Hubble discovery could mean.
The James Webb Space Telescope will glimpse the dawn of time like nothing before it.
From a tropical rainforest to the edge of time itself, James Webb begins a voyage back to the birth of the universe.
You're talking about potentially answering.
And they bugged out because we know the birth of the universe is right, no other than right here on this planet. This is the first thing created in the universe, so to speak, as far as celestial bodies. Going into the different planets, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the galaxies. The planet Earth was formed first, man. You know. So let's go into Genesis. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 1. It reads, "In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth," and we know God that is speaking about is talking about the Elohim, the Elohim. The Elohim created the heaven and earth. It's a lot of news, and that's it's a lot. It say, "In the beginning, the Elohim created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of the Elohim, the powers, not the Most High, the powers moved upon the face of the waters. And the Elohim said, Let there be light, and there was light. And the Elohim saw the light." It say God, but we just put the actual word that should be there. "And the Elohim saw the light, that it was good, and the Elohim divided the light from darkness." Verse 5. And basically going through the creation. I ain't gonna keep going. You can read it yourself because it's gonna take basically I gotta read through all of it. I keep going down a little more. I go down to, a little further. It say, and the Elohim called light in the light day, and the darkness he called night. And evening and morning was the first day. So the day started in the evening. When the sun go down, that's the beginning of the next day. When that's the beginning of the next day. They say, and the Alahayim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, Shemayim, and let it divide the waters from the waters. It say, and the Alahayim made a firmament and divided the waters from the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. It say, and the Alahayim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and morning were the second day. And the Alahayim said, let the waters under the heaven, under the firmament, in the earth, the oceans and the seas, be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. So the land appeared out of the waters. That's why the waters are around the land. It say, and it was so. And the Alahayim called the dry land earth, and gathered together of the waters called he seas. And the Alahayim saw that it was good. And the Alahayim said, let the earth bring forth grass and herb yielding seed, and fruit tree yielding fruit of his after his kind, whose seed is in himself upon the earth. And it was so. It say, and the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself. So everything the Lord created, seed was in itself, man. So it produced its own kind. After his kind, and the Alahayim saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. Verse 14, it say, and Alahayim said, let there be a light in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons and days and years. It say in verse 15, and let them be a light, and let them be for lights in the firmament, for in the firmament of heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the Alahayim made two greater lights, the greater light to rule the day, the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the Alahayim set them in the firmament. And what are the stars? All the galaxies you see, all these things that you see. Hey, that's what the Hubble telescope taking pictures of, all these clusters of stars, different galaxies and nebulas and all these terms that Esau give them. That was made on what day? Let's keep going. It say, and the Alahayim set them in the firmament of the heaven, and to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and divided the light from the darkness. And the Alahayim saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So the earth was already created before the sun and the moon, before the stars. The earth was being created first, And let's go back to the top, and let's prove that it wasn't nothing else. Verse 2, it say, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Yeah, upon the outer space. It wasn't no stars and moons and suns. No, it wasn't none of that. you know, until the Lord started creating, you know. But that's pretty much the point on it.
Some of the questions that have occurred to people since the first people looked up at the stars.
Absolutely.
See back in time and learn, perhaps, how all of this came to be.
It's a question that has puzzled, mystified scientists for centuries. Does our life really flash before our eyes when we're dying, reliving our most memorable moments in this?
Hey, and that's something we always push. And before 2/3 of our people die, what's gonna flash before their eyes is the counsel of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's what's gonna flash before their eyes. Like, damn, I ran across the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and I shunned them. I rejected them. I talked bad about them. I did this. I did that. That's what's gonna flash before a nigga eyes, man. You know, not their best moments, the kids, your baby being born. That ain't what's gonna flash before your eyes. What's gonna flash before your eyes is you rejecting the Lord's words. That's what the Lord gonna have flash before you for 2/3 of our people eyes, man. You know?
Span of seconds. Tonight, researchers say we may be one step closer to solving this mystery.
It was a total accident.
It's the first ever recording of a dying human brain, one that happened entirely by chance. How it happened, how you were able to get this data, because I thought that part of the story was almost just as fascinating.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a complete accident.
So how'd they go about doing it? Well, a man with epilepsy died of a heart attack while going through a brain scan to detect and treat his seizures. The brain activity they documented provides some of an explanation for those who recall having vivid near-death experiences. Just before the man's heart stopped working, there were changes in his brain waves. They became very similar to what happens when we dream or when we are in meditation or thinking back about our memories.
During this, the patient had a cardiac arrest and died. That was what led us to the first ever recording of a dying human brain. What we find is a very similar pattern of brain waves happening in the phase 30 seconds before the heart stops pumping blood into the brain and 30 seconds after the heart stops pumping blood into the brain. That was quite astonishing to us.
Dr. Ajmal Zemor is a neurosurgeon at the University of Louisville who led the study. He says the patient's brain waves are similar to what's seen in people when they're dreaming, recalling memory flashbacks. And he says the pattern fits the...
And what you're gonna be seeing is the prophet repent, come back to your house by saying that's what you're gonna be seeing before you die, man. You know, for 2/3 of our people. These heathens through. Fuck them. We talking about you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Lord chosen people. And also those who look like the other nations who are actual Israelites. What's gonna flash before your eyes is you encountering the prophets. You hearing the word on YouTube or Facebook, however you heard it, and you shunning it, you know? Whether you ran across the prophets face to face or however you seen it, your cousin was telling you about the Hebrew Israelite, telling you the Lord night. That's what's gonna be flashing before your eyes, man.
Description of what some have described after surviving a near-death experience. Dr. Zemor says the study was done in 2016, but he waited years to publish his work, reaching...
You know, that's just through the spirit, because we say that a lot. The Lord gonna have that flesh before your eyes. And that shame gonna come upon our people, man. You know? Is that really gonna happen? We don't know. Like you can't say what happened to somebody when they die, what they see. We don't know. But we know the Lord is the king of terrors, man. And we don't put nothing past the Lord.
To colleagues hoping to find more case studies. That's when he realized just how rare it was to actually capture this type of brain recording. Again, it's only one case, and a lot more research is needed to determine if this phenomenon is something all of us experience or not. But
It's a lot. And that could be why the Lord compared dying into sleep. You know? Same thing they saying what they found out, the same thing. What they saying they found out. Happen when you die is the same thing happen when you sleep, man. Having dreams and shit, you know. Hey, it's a reason the Lord compared it to sleep.
When you think about it, how difficult it would be to do a research study like this, but it is a fascinating subject.
Fascinating indeed.
Thank you, Doreen.
Thanks, Doreen.
Record-breaking discovery. A star at least 50 times the size of the sun and more than 28 billion light years away was spotted by the Hubble Space Telescope.
Iconic Hubble Space Telescope making a major discovery. It spotted the most distant star ever seen. Here's a look at the star that NASA is calling Earendel. The name translates to morning star in Old English, and old is Earendel. Apparently it formed less than 1 billion years after the Big Bang.
It's kind of
And ain't no such thing as no damn Big Bang, man. And these people bug the hell out. You know, like something just exploding and everything, stuff just start forming. A star exploded, then the earth was formed, and creatures and a soul. You know, that don't even make sense. What are souls and all? It gotta be a higher power, man. Nothing can't just come from nothing. We all are made of Yahweh, man. And you know, his incorruptible spirit, roughly paraphrasing the scripture, is in all things, man. You know, including the planets, the stars, the universe, and all these different things, the animals, everything. The Lord incorruptible spirit is in those things, the trees, the plants, the fruit, you know, all that. And Esau talking about a damn Big Bang.
this wonderful gift from the universe.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Well, this was a wonderful coincidence of
A
nature.
wonderful gift from the universe. Like the universe created itself. You know, they take all honor and glory from Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and give it to basically an inanimate object. If that's the case, why ain't planets popping up right next to us? You know? Oh, let me guess. The sun got to blow up first. Come on, man. That shit don't make no sense. Esau logic is horrible, man. And that's why the Lord said this. This First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 20, it say, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoid profane and vain babbling, and oppositions of science falsely so called," because these dummies don't know what they talking about, man. And they know the earth wasn't these top Edomites and top nations know that the God of Israel is the one and true God, you know. And it's going to be shown. Those so-called UFOs you see, those are the angels of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. You know? Ain't no aliens and all of those dumb shit. No, those are the chariots of the Lord.
There is a cluster of galaxies that's closer to us. It's only about 5 billion light years away, and I know that doesn't sound very close, but all of the mass of that cluster, many, many hundreds of galaxies, is actually warping space and time itself. This is something predicted by Albert Einstein 100 years ago. And all of that space, incredibly, is warping into a natural telescope, a telescope made of space and time. And way on the other side of the universe, just conveniently lined up, we think it's just a coincidence,
A key to perhaps unlock the secrets of the universe. And keep this in mind, the discovery was made by the Hubble.
And you Edomites will never unlock a damn thing, man, because if you were able to search out the heavens and the deeps and remove the sun or the moon, the Lord will cease from Israel will cease from being a nation. You know, and that's not gonna happen. That's why you'll never be able to do it. That's for the Israelites, you know. The Lord created all that up there, all the stars, the galaxies, for to be inhabited by His people, man. Cause we gonna live forever. We gonna have forever to enjoy all the things that the Lord created, man.
Telescope. Now the James Webb Space Telescope is up there now, and it's 100 times more powerful than Hubble. So exciting times for space exploration.
I can't even believe this.
Well, at first I have to say I was skeptical, as any good scientist should be. You sort of say, well, wait a minute, how do you know that's a star? How do you know it's not some big cluster of stars or even a galaxy? At that distance, we can barely see even entire galaxies. But then the data came in and it became more and more convincing, and I realized, wow, there was a cosmic coincidence, and this star so far away was actually magnified thousands of times brighter than it should be because of a natural lensing of space and time itself.
The speed of light, we were looking at this earlier, is about 188,000 miles per second. And that's how fast you gotta go for 28 billion years to reach that star. Who going? Jabbar?
And creation ain't even that old. Look at this dumb nigga. You know, the creation is not even that old. So like, let me see. I'm looking for a precept, but this ain't it. But I read it. Uh, this I'm looking for something else. This Isaiah chapter 45 and verse uh, 17. It say, "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation." Is back up what I was just saying earlier. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Yeah, Israel is that world without end. It say, "For thus saith the Lord that created the heavens, God Himself that formed the Yahweh Himself that had formed the earth and made it." And we know Yahweh Shai created all things through the spirit and power of Yahweh. With and the Alahims were with him, the powers were with him, the 144. The first fruits was with Yahweh Shai, creating everything. It say God Himself that formed the earth and made it, He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be inhabited. I am Yahweh, and there's none else. Yeah, because hey, this earth is not gonna be destroyed, and the planets. That one precept I'm looking for, how the Lord gonna. Uh, I might got it already. Oh, I got it already. It's a lot.
Trying to wake up right now.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot of math.
It's just too much to wrap your head around, but I'm going to make it even more complicated, right?
Okay.
So this is how you said 28 billion light years away. It may not even be there anymore.
If that's true.
Right? Because it took that long for that light to get here.
And that's the false science, because the Lord have all these. And how can you prove that it's not here? Where have you been that's 28 billion light years away, so to speak? No goddamn well. How can you? You you ain't never seen a star blow up? So how you gonna just throw that out there? That's the pride of these devils, man. Oh, the star blew up. Some crazy shit. You know, how do you know that stars are blowing up? Oh, we seen it. Well, why you ain't never showed it happening? Because they lying, man. But it say it is He that sitteth upon the circle of the earth. And if the Lord created the earth, um, He created the earth not in vain to just be destroyed. The scriptures say the earth will abide forever. But you let Esau tell it, or the sun gonna eventually burn up and blow up, burn out and blow up. The earth is millions of years old. You let Esau tell it, the sun at its wits end. You sit there and listen to these dumbass astrologers and shit. You know, that's why the Lord say He created the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, man. Because these devils are wicked as hell, and they need to be put in shackles, man. They don't need to be over nothing, man. You know, because it's nothing but confusion. But back in Isaiah 40 and verse 22, it say, "It is He that sitteth upon the circle of the earth," the globe, not a dome, not a flat square. No, He sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers. that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them as a tent to dwell in. To dwell in for who? To dwell in for his chosen people. You know, back in Isaiah 45 and verse 18, it say, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, that created the heavens, and God Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai himself, that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He created it not in vain. He formed it to be and inhabited. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is nothing else." But the point was in the verse above it. The world without end. That was the point. Israel being that world without end. Right here it say, "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end." And if we gonna live forever, out here there we gods, we live forever. We change to immortal, however you say it. We've been given immortality through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Our kids gonna have immortality. And guess what? It ain't gonna take long for us to overpopulate the earth, man. After 1,000 years, it's gonna be time to start venturing out, man. Probably. Maybe a little longer, but who knows? We'll know when we get there. Lord willing, we're part of that number. But after a while, we're gonna have to start venturing out because there's gonna be a lot of humping going on, like they say in the Last Kingdom. A lot of humping, man. And there's gonna be a lot of babies being born. Some twin triplets and shit. We never know. Every day you got a different woman pregnant, but the Sabbath, man. You know. But once the earth is overpopulated, we gonna spread out, man. The Lord stretches out the heavens as a tent to dwell in, man.
And we don't know, it might be gone.
Because light does travel, and it does take some time to reach our eyes. The sun, I believe, is 8 seconds away. Look at me coming out with all this info.
It could prove or disprove hypotheses like string theory, the Big Bang theory, and now we are one step closer to unwrapping these mysteries of our universe.
And y'all ain't finna unlock shit. Y'all got bounds that y'all cannot pass. What y'all finna unlock is slavery, goddammit. You motherfucking Edomites finna go into hardcore bondage. Hardcore slavery, man. You ain't gonna get to see a glimpse of what's going on out there in the heavens, man. Besides what you seeing with your telescopes, you're not going out there. You're not gonna go to another planet. You ain't going to the moon or Mars and land. No, man. You stuck your ass right here on Earth, and you finna come out of power and go straight in the chains, man.
Have this big bang, but we don't know why it banged. We don't know what banged. We don't know where the bang is going. We just know there was a bang.
Yeah.
So you see, there are a lot of gaps in Einstein's theory. But Einstein's theory is the overall.
And it's a theory means it ain't, this just what they believe. That's not the truth. That's why the scripture in Timothy say false science, so called, because science means to know. A theory don't mean to know. A theory mean it's a educated guess, so to speak. But science means to actually know the actual fact. The Big Bang is not an actual fact, and they can't tell you that actual factual how the earth and heavens and earth came to existence through a Big Bang. They can't say that. That's why they call it a theory, man.
Architecture for understanding the origin of the universe.
New data published in the Astrophysical Journal suggests the universe is expanding 9% faster than previously calculated.
One of the interesting. What the Lord say, I go to prepare a place for you. Let me get that real quick. That's why it's expanding. Let me go back some.
Einstein's theory. But Einstein's theory is the overall architecture for understanding the origin of the universe.
New data published.
I go. um, this the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 3. It say, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Yeah, the Lord going to prepare. Matter of fact, that ain't all of it. Let's start at verse 1. This St. John chapter 1 and verse, 14, chapter 14 and verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yahweh, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. And those mansions are what? These different planets. There's many mansions in the Lord's house. If it were not so, I would have not told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And the earth is one of those mansions. This is the first mansion created, man. You know, this is the headquarter of creation, planet Earth, man. You know, Eden. You know, and all Eden mean is paradise. You know, and when the scriptures speak about the Garden of Eden, it ain't say that the Garden of Eden. No, it say there was a garden planted eastward in Eden. You know, the garden. It wasn't called the Garden of Eden. Well, you can say the Garden of Eden, but it just say that go to show you that the Earth, planet Earth, even if you call it the Garden of Eden, the Earth was Eden. The Earth is Eden, and Eden just means paradise a lot. But the Lord said there was a garden planted eastward in Eden. Um, that's the point on this precept. Let's go to Psalms chapter 104 and verse. I start at the top, verse 1. It reads, blessed is Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh, my power. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain. You know, the Lord stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, man. That's why she finna make the statement she making. That the earth, well, I can read it. Study, universe is expanding faster than before. Yeah, because the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is preparing that place for the kingdom of Yasharallah, the kingdom of the Israelites. You know, we gonna get the earth in order. Then it's gonna be up, man. It's gonna be up. You know, and we ain't gonna take us a 100 billion light years to get from planet to planet, man. A galaxy to galaxy. You know, hey, we got. That's why the scriptures say, "Eyes have not seen, nor ears have heard, what the Lord have prepared for them that wait on Him," man. You know, and what we doing, man? We signing crime. We enduring hardness as a good soldier. We going through what we got to go through, and we patiently waiting on our power to come save us, deliver us up out of this place, man. Because it's gonna happen. It's a fact. Whether I'm a part of the elect or the next man a part of the elect or not, it's still gonna happen. The elect will be delivered. You know. The elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered up out of this place, and America, Babylon the Great, will be destroyed. And you heathens, you fucking heathens, starting with you Edomites, are finna go into captivity, man. That's gonna happen. It's a fact, man.
The Astrophysical Journal suggests the universe is expanding 9% faster than previously calculated.
One of the interesting things that had happened.
The Lord speeding up to creating the universe is 9% faster than usual, what they usually see. So that's a great increase, you know. And Esau don't know. Esau just saying some crazy shit. He don't know. This nigga don't know. He just building these stronger telescopes and seeing more and more. And like, damn, when do it stop? It don't stop, man. It's eternity. That's why we finna enter everlasting joy. You know. See, if our people really knew the magnificence of the kingdom that the Lord was finna bring upon the earth, a nigga would get their mind right, man. But these niggas were meant and created in vain to be destroyed, man. That's why we ain't crying over Jake no more, man. Because they'll be alright when the kingdom of heaven is established. But it was one more precept I was thinking of. For this little tribulation, roughly paraphrasing, or this little suffering that we going through right now is only it ain't gonna compare to the glory that coming for the nation of Israel. This light affliction, roughly paraphrasing.
Is on, the 8th of January, we told our team, my God, the universe appears to be accelerating. And we would have, 20 years ago when we did it, it bothered.
And if the universe is accelerating, what are these big bangs it? What a big banging it for the universe to be accelerating? Don't it have to be a bang to accelerate? Yeah, because these devils don't know what they talking about. This Big Bang Theory is some bullshit.
I'm like, how can we be in a universe that has a beginning, has no end, and we live in this special time where we can measure it? And I find that very perplexing. I mean, you never want to be at a special time, but it does seem like the world we're in. And we need to also remember in Belgium in 1927, Georges Lamothe, who you talked about earlier, Georges Lamothe showed him his PhD thesis, which he was working on at MIT remotely. He basically showed, here, look at the data of Hubble and Slipher, the universe is expanding, here's the equations that I have derived, and Einstein reportedly said, well, your equations have already been derived by Friedman, and he said something, you are a much better mathematician than a physicist, or something like that.
Yeah, I think he said your math is correct, but your physics is abominable.
That's right. And pretty much dismissed him out of hand. So poor Georges Lamothe, who did everything, gets pipped at the post by Hubble 2 years later, who did a lot of the hard observational work. But oh well, it's life.
Well, it's an amazing example of inner fortitude. I mean, I think if I went to Einstein with an idea and Einstein told me that my physics was abominable, I probably would have changed careers or hidden under a rock or something. But that isn't the case with Georges Lemaitre. I mean, he actually stays with it and pushes this idea forward.
Yeah, and he was. I said it must have been an interesting character.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's unusual to have, training in physics and to be ordained. The Pope at the time, I forget which Pope it was, got wind of his work in cosmology and described it as giving a confirmation of the story of Genesis. And this, to Lemaitre, was absolutely mortifying because he had diligently and carefully drawn a line between his theological, his religious side of his being and this sort of scientific side. Now, if you're going to do work in science that has to do with the origin of the universe, you shouldn't be too surprised that it's going to be, crossing over. But it was something that he found very difficult when the religious community kind of glommed onto his work as some kind of confirmation of the idea.
And these fucking Christians and Catholics and all these so-called religious people, they don't understand Genesis 1 on through. They don't understand those breakdowns, man. These people through, man. You fucking Edomites are done, man. Y'all finna go y'all ass into captivity. And 2/3 of Israel, the wicked of our people, gonna be put to death, man.
He is in the Bible.
But that's pretty much the point. Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to end it giving all honor and glory to Yahweh by Yahweh Shai by Shemar. That's double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone rule web, and the great example to the young brothers in the truth, and peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Shalom. Kwam Yasha Allah and the Bible Ball. Shalom.